Alrighty, ready to go?
Yep.
Cool. So, VOD review of an Evelyn game you played 2 days ago.
Yep. At 10.23.
10.23 patch. Evelyn
Yeah.
versus Hecarim in the jungle. So, you said you were confused about this game. Can you give me a reason why you felt confused?
I did not know why we were losing. Is basically it. I mean,
Okay,
I knew why, but it was just like it was so absurd. So I was kind of
okay.
perturbed. I'm not sure if I was like full focusing, but I think this is my like autopilot mode at best. So or at worst, I
Okay,
think.
that's fine.
So yeah.
So, Evelyn Hecarim, tell me some stuff about the matchup, all that kind of stuff.
Um. I
Give me
mean,
some
huh.
knowledge.
He outganks me before 6, and I can uh if I track him properly, I can counter his counter ganks, which are very free.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and
Um,
I think my in terms of clear speed, we're like around equal. So
okay.
yep.
I want to get scoreboard up. Cool. Team comp wise, what do you think your game is in this game?
Mm.
Like, where are you going to pressure in your team, and where do you think they're going to pressure, and what's their like win con?
Yes, they want Hackering can play for for all lanes actually. All lanes are like like he can play around all the lanes.
Okay,
So I would have to like I would have to like properly track him and ping him like on my map and just like try my best to help my team with that. Also, my balance double exhaust.
cool.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, my easiest lane to like play around is like top lane though.
Top lane. Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So, what are you going to do? I'll just ask you some questions then. What happens if Hecarim starts bot? What do you think he's going to do if he starts bot?
Kind of basic. I mean, he's gonna mirror me, so he wins the 2v2, and so I have to just like go to the other side, like play for bot scuttle after.
All right. Yeah. So if he mirrors you in bot lane, you're probably
Yeah.
going to end up having to go bot scuttle, right?
Yep.
Because you don't want to
Yep.
take that fight. If
hmm
he starts top, then what happens? Probably
We
not going to start
just
top,
trade
but
sides. Same things.
yeah,
Yeah.
you just trade sides. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty chill early game, so we can just play it out and see how it goes. I'll skip through
Right.
some of this because
Yeah.
just jungle clear. Um, but I can give you some tips here and there. Do you use F keys?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think okay, there we go. Pog. Yeah, I think try to especially in the early stages, what I'd recommend, especially on jungle, is flick between the F key like every time you have downtime like this, you path on the minimap and then you just look at a lane.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Because this is kind of just you're not getting any info from doing this, right?
Right.
So the really important lanes, I mean, really important points in the lane are what happens on first wave in bot lane is very important. Whether your bot lane pushes too far and they can get level 3'd potentially, or whether they are getting shoved in and you could potentially get like invaded in a deep ward. That's really important because a lot of players do that, right? They'll like
Right.
if they have prio bot, they'll hard
hmm
shove and they'll just walk into your jungle.
Yeah.
Um, Another really
Right.
important thing is obviously top lane. Like mid lane gank, early ganks, it depends on the champs. But like in this game, especially top lane, keep an eye on his wave, right? And make
Yeah.
sure that he's not doing some really dumb shit that is just gonna get him like free killed.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, this is something it's tough, using F keys, but try and remind yourself all the time to get into the habit. It needs to become muscle memory, and then you'll honestly, it'll just give you free ganks because you'll notice things that other players don't notice.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Whereas like in this situation, Evelyn is a bit awkward because you can't really. I mean, it's actually not that big a deal. You can F key while you're spamming your Q because your Q auto
Yeah.
targets. And
Yeah.
then once you finish your full clear here, are you planning on just resetting and going for bot crab? Is that what you're doing?
Very much. Yeah, probably because it's he did start bot. And
Okay, cool.
my bot has prio too, so right.
Okay.
A little inefficiency there.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. You know that he was never gonna die. Shen has taunt, so there's probably like
Yeah. He was
0% chance.
flashless
He
too
was
though.
flashless,
So
but after
yeah.
Camille wastes E, I'm not scared. I'm just gonna stay and
Right.
finish my Krugs, right? Because what is Camille gonna
Right.
do?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but it's a small issue. What's the plan now? Again, I know most Evelyn games are like, let's just farm till 6,
Yes,
but
this is literally like 90% of the games when I mirror. So yeah,
okay,
I
cool.
mean,
So you're watching. Oh, your Kai'Sa's hinting a bit. So you're watching bot lane. They just lost to 2v2. Uh, Draven
yeah,
burns sums, right?
right.
I think you should just get into the habit of timing that kind of sum. Pop it in chat, 5 minute timer, real quick.
Yeah, when I'm feeling
Um,
happy, I do it a lot.
good stuff.
Yeah, should do it.
Okay, so you're going bot lane here. I think this is bad, simply because they shouldn't die here. But if they do die, then it is what it
Yeah,
is.
they don't, but you know,
Yeah.
it was close.
So I think this is a good point for me to just say this is not a reliable play. This is like relying on the enemy just like filling something on their keyboard.
Yes.
Because 9 times out of 10 they just walk away, right? So this is like I said, you don't have a reliable way of killing them, and you're a champ that needs to hit 6. So this kind of play, I would 99% of the time just do your camps, right? Stay on tempo, do your camps, get the crab, go Gromp, wolves, wraiths, krugs, you know the drill, and get to
Yeah.
6 fast, right? Um,
Yeah.
because even showing yourself there is just kind of wasting time. Because if I was Hecarim now, I could potentially look for a top invade or a top gank for free. Um, another thing that's really like I very rarely see this from junglers, but very good junglers do this is while you're deciding on whether you gank bot lane, you look at top. Okay, now why would you look at top?
Right.
I'll pause it. Why do you think you should look at top when you're walking past crab there and you're looking at bot lane? Why would I suggest you F key to top first?
Um, to see how many plays or if I have more options, I guess.
Not really about your options.
Or like,
It's about
I
whose
mean,
options.
I mean, the top laners options.
It's about Hecarim's options.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you know how I said fogging
Oh,
is
right.
a.
Okay.
Do you get what
Yeah.
I mean? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
Like
I. G- Mm,
you're
yeah.
showing on bot lane for a play that's quite unreliable, so it's a risky play. It's not like necessarily a bad play if you do manage to get a cheesy kill. It's just very risky, right? So something that can avoid this, like for example, your top lane has a massive wave that's pushing in top. If you show on bot lane when your top lane has a gigantic wave top, and
Yep.
Hecarim is top half of the map, right? You see how like you going for a risky play has now just turned from, oh, I just wanted to go for a flash kill on Soraka or Draven, to my top lane is getting frozen on and he's gonna lose like 2-3 waves, right?
Right.
In high level, that will happen every now and then. So just make sure that you're not like sacrificing. Just the fact that you're in jungle in Fog of War sometimes can break freezes. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Camille doesn't know where Evelyn is, so she's not going to play as aggro. As soon as she sees you on bot, she's going to be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, Evelyn's
Funny.
bot. Like, I'm just going to call my jungler top."
Yeah. I mean, like, if people were tracking like junglers in this game, they would know exactly where we were, wouldn't they?
Okay, but it's solo queue, so
Right. I
people
guess
play.
so. Yeah.
Like, if you want to be better than these players, you have to do more than them, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if the Camille doesn't track, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
That's her problem, not
We
yours.
take
You take
we take
those.
every inch.
You take every inch, exactly. And if you and then you'll get higher elo than her, and she'll be stuck wondering why she always gets ganked when she's not paying attention. So again, it's fine. It's an Evelyn
Yeah.
game. I'm gonna skip past this full clear. Okay, so you full clear.
I get 6 off this. Yeah.
You get 6.
Like off the creep. Or I think no, there's a word there. That's why. Or I think it's fine anyway.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Out of curiosity, why did you wait on your charm there? Why didn't you just charm after the right here?
I didn't expect him to flash basically because I was waiting for him to get closer. I'm pretty sure.
That's
I don't
fine.
know what I
I
was
don't think it
thinking at
was
this
that.
point. I'll be honest.
Okay, so you resetting. Your bot lane is getting dove. Some
Yeah, I should think
shenanigans
so.
are happening. Okay, so now that Shen's TP top, what do you think your role is here?
I mean, well, I just want to fix this wave because it's gonna be bad for him when he gets back, right? And I mean,
I don't think this is a good idea.
yeah, I mean, I actually wait. Oh, I remember this one. I remember this one. Yeah,
I think this is a really bad idea.
you think so?
Yeah. Like,
Doesn't
okay,
it evolve into a slow? I mean, I fucked this wave harder because he kept pinging me off
yeah.
it. So yeah, this is
Well,
bad.
so okay,
Yeah.
so the reason this is bad is okay. So Shen ults here, and what I would do is keep an eye on where the wave is and how long it's going to take. His ultimate was, first of all, his ult was, I don't like these ults, but
Yeah, I
it
don't
was what
like
it
it
is.
either.
His ult saves Kai'Sa. There is nothing else to do bot lane, so he's going to insta recall. Okay, so
Right.
he is going to be there to break the freeze. Now you don't need to, like, essentially what can Shen do now is an important question I would ask if I'm resetting there and he ults bot lane. I would be like, well, if I take top wave here, Shen walks top lane. He can't do anything for the next wave and a half, and he's just going to be like completely out of options. So maybe he goes mid
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah,
But
I
you're
think I fully misjudged my wave clear here as well. So
yeah,
like
it's also
instantly,
it's a time thing as well.
if I destroyed this wave instantly, it would be fine, right? I'm pretty sure because he would catch the wave like as it comes back.
Yeah.
But like he pings me, like I don't know, man. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I
If
didn't.
you had better wave clear, you could maybe. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
really bad.
yeah.
Now you're really
Let's
into
not
this
talk
wave.
about this one. All right,
So okay, so
I knew this one.
Shen definitely
Anyway,
has some right to be a bit annoyed here. And also this is the worst part is you have now gone bot lane, right? So now he has got this awkward situation where he has a freeze and you're on the other side of the map.
right.
Um,
I think it. Oh my. Ugh. Yeah, I should have just committed to it once I start hitting it though. At that point.
yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah, anyway, minor
So
misplay.
yeah, I mean this is why we do VOD reviews and stuff like that. So now at this point, your mid lane dies to a Hecarim gank, and I think what you should start looking for now is more jungle invades with Shen or playing towards Shen's side and then winning Shen's side so that you can transfer your advantage. I guess there's a good point to practice some game vision, game sense, kind of like an idea of how you're actually going to close out games. This
Right,
is a really abstract feeling you get during games when you're a better and better player about who you should play towards and who's
right.
actually going to be capable of carrying the games. So, what do you think about this game? Who's going to actually bring it home for you?
Shen,
Yeah,
my boy.
I would
Yeah.
say it's you because in
I
this
mean,
game
okay, sure.
you
I
have the
mean, the other option, right?
yeah you have
Like,
the team comp, you have the
for
champion
sure.
basically uh to impact a game in a pretty
Right.
good way. They have a lot of immobile
Yeah.
champs like Anivia, Soraka, Draven. So the way I would think about this then is you are playing a carry jungler who wants farm and kills, and there are two losing lanes in your game.
Right.
Um,
And
na-
yeah.
yeah, unless you feel like you can get a double kill bot lane, which is possible, you shouldn't rule it out. I would stay away from ganking mid because I guess let me rephrase this to say this is a reliability question. Where is the most reliable play on the map? I don't think it's mid ever. Zoe versus Anivia just does not feel reliable when Anivia has cleanse. Uh,
Yep.
and Hecarim counter ganks on mid lane against Zoe and Anivia are just terrifying.
I
And then
agree.
bot lane 3v3 also feels a little bit doomed.
Yep.
So again, the reliable play is you play
Well,
towards top side of the map, and at this stage, you can
yep.
start looking for what you need to pop the game open. And
Right.
again, what do you think you need to pop this game open? What do you think will really make this game super hard for the enemy team to play?
Like specifically or like in
Specifically,
general?
yeah.
Mm, if like if
Knowing,
Camille cannot like if Camille can't side, I guess
okay, cool. Yeah, that's the answer I
yeah.
want. So what makes really hard for Camilla's side?
If Shen is just dicking her
Yeah.
or like yeah, and
Okay.
I'm like shadowing over and over.
Let's
I
think
think that
more.
was the
Let's
yeah
think less in
why.
terms of kills and more in terms of the map.
Hmm? I mean, if she can't side lane, if she can't side lane against Shen, like we basically like have a perpetual like 5v4 basically because she's like, I mean, yeah, like Shen either gets the towers or Camille, or Camille
Yeah.
just like gets behind hard. So
I mean,
like if
in that gank, I
the
think
wave is done,
you probably should have just ulted a little earlier, but that's a small point. I what I want from you is to think about the objective that's currently on the map and how and whether it's actually worth your time. Because in my opinion, your mid and bot are going badly, right? This is a solo queue moment, not a competitive learning moment. But in solo queue, you got to think, okay, well, mid and bot lane are going very badly, but top lane is going well. How do I just absolutely ram home top lane as hard as possible? And in my opinion, ganking is actually not the way to do it. Okay, the way to do it is you just take Herald and then you crash a massive wave and you Herald top.
I
right?
agree.
And
Yes.
once Camille has no tower, you just have the entire top jungle, right? And you have a Shen with ult, so they can't really 2v2 bot lane easily.
Hmm.
So every time Shen has ulti, it also enables you to play really aggressive bot. Sorry, in top jungle. But I think this is still a fine play. You get the kill and you get Herald. It's just about how we use Herald now, right?
Yeah.
It's good timing the flash as well.
I think I have like I have a fetish with like trying to get mid tower, like saving it for mid tower all the time, which I think is like it's usually good play, right? If you can get mid tower with a herald, or like
Uh,
getting mid tower first is like usually the best tower to get, right?
okay, just pause right now.
Right.
So Shen just ulted bot lane, and you just took Herald. What do you think is the next step, and where are you going to use the Herald now? Using
It's a
the
herald top.
you want a Herald top? Do you want a Herald
Yeah.
top now though? Is that what you want, or
I mean, like after Camille shows on the map and like maybe she stuff
okay?
something like that.
So
Yeah.
then, what happens if Camille shows right now? What do you plan
Mhm.
on doing? Because she should, right? She just died and she's coming from
Yeah.
base.
I can't kill her, so
Yeah. Okay.
I just hold the wave, wait for Shen to come back and just get the gank. Or yeah, I think I have to hold like I held like one wave this game, I think, and that's what happened. Like Shen ganked and then we got tower.
All right.
I'm unsure what happened this game. Yeah,
So they spot you on a ward in top jungle.
yeah.
And wait, did Camille match TP? I think Camille maybe TP'd. Hold on, it's kind of hard to see with this fucking Twitch thing. Did Camille TP?
I don't think so.
She just AFK.
She's still dead. She's still dead right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. She's still dead, so she just spawned, kinda. Yeah.
I mean, okay, no, she didn't TP, right?
Yeah.
So this is the type of play that I would avoid. I would try to
Right.
avoid
The walking to a
walking
play at
to a
the
play
other
that's
side of the
already
play.
giga
Yeah.
doomed, because
That's the
yeah.
that's the classic in solo queue, you know.
It happens a lot, and it's a very hard habit to start drilling out, but you need to work on it, and you need to like
Yeah.
every time you see
Oh,
yourself doing that, you need to essentially it's just about updating the play, right?
right.
You think you looked bot at
Yeah.
one point and you thought, oh, I could maybe help the play, but then you didn't look bot again and update to say like, oh, okay, now the play is a bit doomed, so it's better my time's elsewhere. But what I'd say now is there was a mistake here, which I would just reset here. Okay.
Right.
The reason I would reset is one,
Gold.
you know that, yeah, one, you have a shit ton of gold. Okay, just get back, spend the gold. Your Herald play is going to be significantly less scary if you're sitting on 2k gold, because then they'll just fight you.
Right.
And good junglers will notice that you're, hey, this guy is just sitting on 2k gold. Second thing is, this is probably, let me see. So you took Herald at 9:30. It is now 10:45. That was a minute and 15 seconds, which you could have recalled, taken any 1 or 2, 3 camps, and then gone top. And you would have had more items, more XP, more gold, and you could have been top lane for this top wave, right? So
Yeah.
in general, this was just a really greedy play to stay. But
Yeah.
I mean, it should work.
Should be a kill. Alright.
Okay. So you get the kill.
Oh, it goes wrong for sure.
Right. Yeah. So this was a solo queue play if I've ever seen one. Like again, you're sitting on 1500 gold with Herald, and the result of this play, if you have gold and items, is Camille dies. They don't get anything top because she dies much faster, and you just take top tower, or they have to defend top Herald, and then you can just walk mid and place Herald. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So I mean that's pretty
Yeah.
straightforward.
I can see the pain here already. So, I mean, I think at the moment I realized the problem. This one.
Yeah. So anyway, you still have Herald, so it's still about making the most use
Right.
out of this Herald. I don't like this play at all. I don't like going to Dragon. Okay. I think this is exactly what the enemy team wants you to do, which is just play towards side of the map they're strong on. And the thing that they're most annoyed about is if you just go top and you put Herald, because you know for a fact Hecarim wants Dragon, right? You know for a fact, okay, Hecarim wants Dragon off cooldown because he's winning bot lane, winning mid lane. Most junglers would have that in their mind. Okay, so
Right.
Hecarim will be there. Anivia's stronger. Draven's much stronger than our Kaisa. What do we do? Okay.
Yep.
In that situation, I just cross map
Hmm.
and force Camille into a long lane that you can just play. You can start shadowing Shen even harder. And I think as the game goes on, the only 2v2 you guys win is uh, probably top lane, because I don't think Anivia
Yeah.
Hecarim you win that, and I don't think you win 3v3 later in the game against Straka Draven.
No.
So you need to like keep pressuring where it hurts. But covering here is kind of like a this is a play I would only do if you have no other plays on the map, right? If you have no other plays on the map, then you can cover a losing lane's play in solo queue at least and make sure that Hecarim doesn't dive them. But in
Right.
this scenario, if you can just get top tower and get them rolling, then it doesn't matter. You're probably going to take 2 towers because you can dive Camille as well.
Yeah.
The fact that they died to this is pretty XD.
I mean, it's a Draven. What do you expect?
Yeah, guy has 3 brain cells, but okay. Um, so you get a freebie, and that's super dope. What you need to do now is,
Nope. Yeah.
yeah, what you need to do now is, again, I think you've been playing with Herald a little bit too. Yeah, you're picking it now because you know you want to use it. You need to start thinking about this in advance about where the Herald is most useful, because I think you've been playing kind of with Herald as a second objective. But think of it this way: you invested so much time into doing Herald, and it's just been sitting there. It's actually a negative. It's like a debuff when you have it, because
Yeah.
you don't have a trinket. You can't
Hmm.
put vision on the map. Okay, so this Herald is kind of just sitting there, leeching your inventory slot, and um, it's not really achieving much. And you also
Yeah.
invested time into that objective, and you're not getting anything out of it, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, like at this point, you see what I mean by you actually got a good play bot lane. You killed Draven, but you're still too weak. Like your mid lane is losing, so you can't take Drake. Your Kaisa was already losing lane, or she's low, so she can't really like help with Dragon. It's just weak side play. No matter whether you get the play or not, you're gonna get less than doing a strong side play, right?
Yeah.
So okay, so you go for I think you go for a play here. Again, this is just inefficient. This is super unreliable, right? Oh, you pop a mid. Okay. You should die there, 100%.
I agree.
I don't know if Anivia didn't have wall, but you should definitely die there, or at least
I
have to
did.
burn your R.
I did have Shenar technically, but that's a tanky egg.
The
Okay.
fact that Anivia dies there is hilarious. But I think this is just a quick macro point. Um, these plays turn out okay, but it's like the gain you're getting from them is A, the enemy's misplaying and they're getting picked, and then B, you're kind of limited in how much you can actually do, simply because after you make these plays, you have to then respond somewhere else on the map instantly. It's not like we've made our play and then we go back and we can do whatever we want. You're like behind in tempo after this play, right?
Yeah.
Top lane is behind. Kaisa's stuck under tower. I think it's all right because you're getting mid, but I don't think you needed to. Yeah, okay, well, stuff like this happens because you don't have time and tempo on the map because you're making a play on your weaker sides of the map. And Shen actually had to
Yeah.
burn R for Kaisa.
Yeah. There's actually like one thing I'm like struggling, or like I'm like amazed by. Like I look at Malice's OPGG and he literally has 8 CS a minute on this champ, and like that feels so hard to do. Like if you're like trying to do like be proactive at the same time, it's actually like really hard. I'm
So
like
I
I'm
think
curious how he does that.
I think it's just because he understands reliable plays
Right.
more than you right now. Which
Yeah,
is
for sure.
he knows, he looks at the champions in the lanes, and he looks at the team comps, and
Right.
he can identify like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Shen Camille is the matchup I'm going to play towards. So he's not going to waste his time
Yeah.
walking bot. He's not going to waste his time going for that
I
mid
feel.
gank. He is
I
going to
feel.
clear, and then he's going to end top, and
Yeah.
then he will make a play top fast. And if it fails, he'll bail out quick, go back to farming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I know. Like imagine that's what it does. Like even when I do that, it's like I still don't have the same CS numbers. But yeah, I mean, uh, oh, like I don't know. I feel like I have like the heart of a new player playing these champs or something.
Yeah, you are
Yeah,
definitely not crossing over the jungle into
yeah,
enemy jungle a lot, which you should be
yeah.
doing as Evelyn when you hit 6 if you have a strong side, right? You want to
Right,
be
right.
fishing for vision, you want to be placing your trinket down on enemy camps,
Yeah.
stuff like that. You don't want to just be like sitting, because I haven't seen you place your trinket aggressively this entire game. I think even when you were in top blue buff, I don't think you placed your trinket down aggressively, right?
What did I have? I'm so hang on.
No,
I lost my train of thought
it's fine.
there.
It's fine. But
Yeah.
my point is, you're content with your camps, which you don't really need to be when you have a top side that's winning.
Yeah, you're right.
Obviously, bot side is not really yours, and that's unlucky. That's a bit unfortunate. Your team is inting, but it's not the end of the world because you have Hecarim's top jungle, right? So the only risk is you have 2 losing lanes, whereas Hecarim only has 1 losing lane, right? That flash, Keck W. So
My lord. Okay.
it was Zoe's flash, not your flash. I was talking about.
Yeah.
Um, again, see, okay, so these kind of plays, they kind of it's like they look good on paper. Like, okay, we can
They
punish them,
really do. They
but
really do.
they
In the
they look
moment, they
good.
feel
But
good.
yeah, they in the moment they feel good, but they're really not good because you're burning so much of your tempo and so many of your resources for a play that is not that reliable. When in reality, you could just make the more reliable play. And what do you think the more reliable play is here in this
Mm,
situation?
like just run up. I mean, play through my Shen with like. I
All right,
mean,
think about this for a
there's no
second. Think about this for a second. With my tone, you probably know that was the wrong answer,
right.
but think about
Yeah.
it. I'll go back 5 seconds.
Right. I
Hello,
mean,
Twitch.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right here.
Right.
So, what does vision give you on the map in enemy jungle? What does it give you besides just we know where enemy jungle is?
Mm,
What's the opposite?
and,
Where do like if you know where enemy jungle is, you know where enemy jungle what
where enemy jungle was
or isn't? He's not.
isn't.
He's not
Yeah.
bot side, right? You
Yeah.
also have this good word, so you know where Anivia is. You also have a billion years for Shen to just walk away from top. And what are they going to get from top? They're going to get Herald, right?
Right.
Okay, can we contest Herald against the Hecarim Anivia Camille? Do you feel like that's a
Mm,
reliable fight with a Zoe who's
yeah.
really far behind? And
No. Yeah.
yeah, it's just not a reliable fight in any sense of this, any stretch of the imagination. Do you
Right.
think you could identify that in game
Um.
if you just
The
press tab and had to think about the Herald fight? Just try and play it out in your head. The way
yeah, for
I
sure. I
do it is I
mean,
visualize it, right? Like what would happen if I ran up to Hecarim and Anivia, or how would I even go about winning that or killing them? You know?
right.
And I
Uh.
could see it like as you as Evelyn, right? The way you guys kill is either you land a god tier double taunt or Zoe bubbles, or you land a charm when they're not suspecting
Yeah.
you, right?
Or Anivia walks into a bush in
Exactly.
between us.
All of those
Which yeah.
situations are hard to pull off. They are not reliable. It's not point and click. It's not easy. It's not. They don't have any sums. It is very hard for them to pull that off, right? At this point, Anivia had flash as well. So okay, that's not a reliable play in my mind. What is a reliable play now that you see the map?
To run the opposite direction and
Exactly, right?
play the other side.
Just play
Yeah.
the other side. And here's the
Like,
beauty of it. What do you have top lane that is so good at doing bot lane plays? You have a global, right? You have Shenel,
yeah.
and it's coming
Yeah.
up very soon. So in this situation, you actually have the freedom to go bot lane, even though it's your weak side, simply because like this is kind of like violating the my solo queue rule of don't play to losing lanes because this is such a free play, right? You have it doesn't matter if Camille has TP, you have Shenar. It doesn't matter if they have mid prio and Ivia's spending her time going towards Herald, right? So you go bot lane and you dive them with Zoe, right? What you can do in this situation is maybe shadow Zoe and ping her to push, but she's not going to push against Anivia. So what I would do is I just start moving bot lane in the first place. Now I don't think this is a bad play. I think this is a fine play. But and in fact, Shen actually ults early, which is great. You know, this is fantastic by Shen to get into play
Yeah.
early. This is now turning into a Benny Hills chase. What are you guys actually getting on the map for this? Is my question. Okay.
Uh, we do get Herald.
Okay. So you get Herald. Your waves aren't really pushed, but what are you giving up then on the map?
um, we're giving up the other side, the bot lane.
Exactly. So you're
Yeah.
giving up bot lane to gain Herald. Now, the issue I have with all this entire sequence of plays is you don't actually need to give up anything simply because you guys had all of the vision on the map. You had info on where Hecarim and Nivea were going. So you could have, in my opinion, just stayed invisible, walked through mid lane, and threatened bot lane while also making sure that the enemy can't do Herald. Okay? Because your Janna was roaming. So at any given point, you had control of the map because you knew where they were and they didn't know where you were. And the simple fact that you're in Evelyn and this champion's passive is busted as all hell means you have like you have a basically you have a global. When you're in Fog of War, you have a global. Okay, that's how you should think of Evelyn. And it's really, really hard for them to make plays against a fed Evelyn, like Herald and stuff, when you're just shadowing lanes. You don't need to like pull the trigger super fast. And
Right.
do you see this is a side effect of us going for this mid play, right? They dive bot lane. They dive bot lane, they then get bot
Yeah.
tower, and then Janna for some reason decides to also die, I think. No, Zoe decides to go in and die. Like this play was pretty much your bot lane inting, but I think it's more like we're not getting enough on the other side of the map, so it doesn't matter if the enemy is losing a little bit in top lane. Our bot lane is losing way more, right? So the reason
Yeah.
why like a challenger elo jungler or whatever would probably win this game is not because you're making bad plays, but they're making slightly better plays. They're making more optimal plays. So each play you get like 100 gold or 200 gold, right? They're squeezing 400 gold out of each play. That's just random numbers I'm throwing around, but you get what you get my point, right? They're going for reliable plays that the enemy has less answers to. That was a good ult.
Somehow works.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like super banana flipping.
Yeah.
Oh boy, your Kaisa's really making a anti-montage. So again, I don't think you should ever win that, but it is what it is. You played it well mechanically, so that's really good. That was solid stuff. But I think these plays you're going for are
Yeah,
making the game a little
at
hard
this
for
point,
yourself.
at this point, I think I consciously know, or like in the game, I'm like, well, it's actually a Fiesta game, and like, I mean, at this point, I don't think I played at all well in this game right now.
I don't think you're playing
Yeah.
bad. I think you're just not seeing you're seeing the window, you're not seeing the biggest window, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Like you're
Right.
seeing a lot of good plays, but
Yeah.
here's the truth. You're not playing bad, but your team is playing like absolute
Right.
shit. So
I'm winning pawns, not pieces here.
yeah, it's a great way of putting it. You need to play like 10-15% better than what you're doing now just to carry your dead weight ball
Right.
lane, right? They're like
Right.
your Janna is just so clueless and like she's not playing badly. She's just running around on the map shielding people, which is not useful. And your bot lane is just getting smashed under tower. So
Yep.
the way you win these games, 9 times out of 10 in solo queue, here's the thing: is you do not help. Like, okay, when you go higher and higher elo, do you think it becomes better to help the enemy to help your bot lane when they're losing, or do you think it becomes worse? In my
Becomes
opinion,
worse
yeah. Why does it become worse?
because they just straight up. I mean,
Because
like better players just punish
yeah,
losing lanes harder, so it's like not
exactly
even worth
right.
it.
The
Yeah.
better the players, like they're not going to throw away their lead for nothing. And it obviously it matters. A lot of it matters comes down to champions and champion choice and all that kind of stuff, right? It's not like a straight cut and dry. Um, it's not a straight cut and dry. Don't go to a losing lane ever. But most of the time, when you have these super volatile matchups like Draven, Soraka versus Janna, Kaisa, you do not need to like risk the entire game going bot there to save their lane if you have another avenue. That's essentially
Yeah.
the general point, right?
Yeah.
And
I usually
especially
say
around
no
like
chat.
yeah, especially around Zoe. When Zoes are behind, they are not champions. They are like generally just super useless.
Right.
But also Zoe players in general are greedy. They're like the Draven players of mid. They're
I
always looking
agree. Yeah.
for like these super crazy montage plays.
Zoe
Um,
players are weirdos. I agree.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, like this game is very winnable at this point still.
I think
So
this game is won at this point. To be
yeah, I
honest,
think so, but it somehow wasn't. So
I mean,
who
I'm
knows?
expecting one of your teammates to just get caught
It
and
wasn't.
die.
I think I did it once, but after a while.
Okay, so this situation is already great for you. What would I suggest you do right now though? After you do Grump,
Um. Uh. Well, I mean, I probably shadow somebody like
I would just
Shen
push top lane
or
in.
so, or push top in
Yeah,
right here.
yeah, push top in. Get that
Ugh.
wave.
Oh, I greeted something. I think didn't work out.
Yeah. Okay, Camille is kind of sprinting in here.
Yeah, I don't know if she dies.
That's fine. I mean, she gets away with it. But again, you see how you're going for the unreliable play, whereas a reliable play, like I think if you add up all these, god damn it, can I go back? If you
All
add up all
these.
of these like smaller, slightly better plays, you would
Yeah,
probably have an extra half an item or something like that, right?
you're
Or like
yeah,
maybe a level up
basically.
on
Yeah,
where you are right now. So Malice would make similar plays to you, but he'd make the more reliable one, and therefore he would be up even more, and then therefore his you see what I mean? Like the snowball just gets insane when you think about it. Like if you're making the
yeah,
optimal play all the time, then you are just infinitely stronger than
yeah.
the enemy jungle, and his options just become non-existent. That's why it's
Right.
so scary playing against like a good Evelyn in
Yeah,
the jungle, because
yeah.
they don't go for the shitty play. And if they don't go for the shitty play, you don't know where they are. So you have to keep in the back of your
Right.
mind that they could potentially go for that play
Yeah,
if you show anywhere else on the map. It's brutal playing against a good
yeah.
Evelyn.
I'm going full like Chinese style right here.
Okay,
Like I
so
watch yeah.
your team, this is another solo queue learning moment actually, because this is a great one. For everyone
Right?
who's gonna if you don't mind, I'm gonna upload this to YouTube.
Yeah,
Everybody's
no
who
problem.
watches this shit, this happens so much, especially often the lower elo you go, where there is nothing to fight over. Okay, realistically, your team does not want to start Nash and turn. You don't have a good tank unless Shen is there, and Shen wants to catch bot wave. So, what are you guys fighting over? Well, the enemy, I mean, your bot lane and your mid lane are just trying to make montages and walk up when they shouldn't. They don't have any vision. They need to wait until someone shows top, but they just walk up. Okay, what do you think you should notice about that situation?
It's stupid.
Sure,
I mean, yeah.
but do you think you should be going to rates when they're doing something this stupid? Because this is a Baron losing play if they die here, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I
You see what I
mean,
mean?
like at the point I was like going to raves, it's not a complete int yet, right?
Yeah. But as soon as they're on mid wave here and Janna is clearing wards around Baron, look at
Alarm bell should be ringing for
alarm
sure.
bells should be
Yeah,
ringing. You
if
should be
it's
like
smart, I should be fucking
you should be like, okay, well, this is they just saw Shen bot lane. Shen does have R, but Janna just cleared a ward on Baron. And look, they instantly engage. Now, this is
cut.
an absolutely trash engage by Camille because Hecarim was not there to follow up. But
Yeah,
the end result is it's a 1-for-1. And in my opinion, you don't need to give up a 1-for-1. You could probably be there and just win the
yeah,
game straight up because you just kill Hecarim, you go on Nash. They don't have top or jungle. It's an Anivia, and you just turn on Anivia with like Zoe Bubble, Janna Tornado, whatever, right?
right.
So again, this is what I'd call like stupidity sensor, your idiot radar. You need to like have this going on during the game, and you need to be like, my team is about to chimp out,
Yeah,
and then
I should.
evaluate whether or not it's like if I'm there, do we just win the fight? If I'm there, do I also die? Because if you're there and you win, then Wraiths is not the most reliable play. It's not sorry, not the most optimal play, right?
Right.
Um, But if you go to that fight mid lane and you lose it in your mind, then yeah, do rates. Like fuck your teammates. They can int if they want to. See what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Because this shit happens all the time. People autopilot in solo queue, they'll just like walk up mid for a wave they shouldn't be able to take. Um, and there'll be people doing rates right behind them because they didn't think that, oh, we were gonna fight. You need to keep an eye. Like I said, it's you need to have this idiot radar in your head. You need to be ready to spot when your team is about to chimp out and be ready to react and change your game
Yeah,
plan based on that.
I think my sometimes people have like absurdly sensitive idiot radars and they just join. They literally just follow their teammates around. But like, yeah,
Um,
I get that. Like,
yeah.
I get to that level sometimes, and it's like really bad for me.
So this is one that I often say on my stream, like I baited or I inted this person. Jana is an idiot. Okay, this Jana is not
Yeah,
using her brain to decide when she can clear wards and when she can't. So you need to be her brain. Does that make sense? You need to be the brain
yeah,
of the team. You need to be telling your team where to go. The way I describe it is if I'm pinging my team to make a play, then they're not going to be making a dumb play somewhere else 9 times out of 10 because I'll drag them
yeah,
over to where I am and make a better play. So
right.
this you see it right here. You're pinging and you're like baiting your Jana in. Now look at the map. This is not a position you can. First of all, your AD carry is recalling. Your mid doesn't really have
Right.
prio or vision around mid lane. Well, she has some vision
Yeah.
in bot
I
jungle.
think Yeah, I have this like weird complex with Eve where I just like walk around trying to like find wards for fun. I don't know. Like, and I
Yeah.
mean I'm just like trying to find out where the vision is real quick.
Okay.
So I'm like pinging all that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this is not like, don't take this as, oh, I misplayed, but this is the
Right.
kind of level. If you want to be a consistent solo queue player, you need to take into account a lot more variables, and
Right.
the more variables you can take into account, the better solo queue player you'll become. In this
Yeah.
situation, this is not your misplay, this is Jana's misplay, but at the same time, you're kind of you're feeding her ego. You're egging
Right.
her on. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you can do it. You can do
Yeah,
it. And
exactly. You're
yeah.
giving her a false sense of security when in reality there should be zero sense of security. They haven't showed bot lane yet. Sorry,
So
actually they have
yeah.
showed bot lane. Camille's on
What
bot lane.
do yeah.
They haven't showed mid lane. They haven't showed top. You don't have top jungle vision, and it's a Janna. She gets like, she's paper. She just gets one shot. So
Right.
in this situation, big no
Do
no.
what?
You know what I'd be spam
Alright.
ping? I would just be spam pinging retreat if that's what you're about to ask me. Just
Right.
stay away from top jungle. Wait for your Kaisa.
Okay.
Do not throw the game, because this is exactly how a lot of my master games are thrown. Some idiot walks up to this freaking bush thinking they're safe, gets one tapped. Okay, we lose Nash. Game's over.
Yeah.
Right? This shit happens all the time. And
Team won't
wow,
group. Yeah.
shocker, she's dead. Actually, Zoe looks dead as well.
Nah,
Oh,
she good.
Akram did not for it. Okay, so do you lose a lot? You probably lose more than you needed to. You lose mid tower, you're gonna lose Drake.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not a game losing play. It's more like just herding the sheep of your team to the right play.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so you're going bot lane. Your team is stuck mid lane. What do you think you should do here? I'm just gonna pause.
I
What do you think you should do?
let me think.
There's a
I
really important point right here. What do you think you should do?
uh
John is dead, right?
yeah.
All right. Paint me a picture of what you think you should do in your head. There's no wrong answer. Just tell me what you think.
Well, not I don't see anything, I'll be honest. But
Really?
I can bear I mean, I don't know, we just we take one or the other objective, right? So that's like coming up. I guess that's like what I'm thinking right now at this point. Like
What
or
objectives?
I could just shadow Shen actually.
Yeah.
But
You just
yeah,
shadow Shen, right? You are
yeah,
ahead of in the push, and you have a bigger wave than Camille does. Not only that, but you're going to lose mid anyway. You can't defend
right.
that. And then on top of that, after they take mid, and they're which direction are they going after they take mid?
To dragon
Right. So what side of your jungle is just a no go?
my bot side.
Yeah, so you're playing towards bot side, which is just super risky, right? And then on top of that, Janna dying here basically just gives up the Drake. The Drake is now gone. You are not going to be able to contest this dragon unless the enemy team completely hints it. And I think
Yeah.
this is the reliability coming in. This is just not a reliable play, okay? You don't have vision around the area. Your support is going to be dead and show up to that
Man,
fight late. Camille also needs to be answered, so you can't walk
right.
into bot jungle instantly. This is just an unreliable play. So what I do
This
here
is
is,
right.
again, you need to be the brain of your team, because your team isn't going to see this. They're diamond. They don't see this shit. Spam ping top tower here.
Right.
Ping away from Drake.
Yeah.
Control ping it. Say give it up in chat and say let's just go top tower. If they enemy team is not on the ball and paying attention, and they only send one person, they might send like an Anivia to defend, because she's like, oh, I have wave clear. I'll just defend Shen, and Camille can split bot. Well, she's dead. If they send Anivia plus who's their support? Anivia plus Soraka. Okay, well now you guys get dragon because you have Shen ult or
Yeah.
Shen TP. Or he has ignite, but potentially you could stay in fog, and now they can't safely take dragon, right? Because there's two people top. All this kind of stuff. This is how you pull the enemy around the map. And you know, in scrims you've probably had this feeling where like, oh, there's no winning play. But for the enemy, if you go top here, it essentially gives them two bad choices, which is they do dragon but they lose their top tier 2, or they defend top tier 2 and
Yeah.
slow their drakes down, right? And it's third drake, it's not soul, so it's
Yeah.
not the end of the world if
I
you
think
give it up.
there's like some what do you call it? There's like solo queue has like I feel like a lot of junglers have been tamed. Like if they have two dragons, fight for every one of them. Like
Yeah,
that's how it feels, you know? Because like if you have not disabled chat since the dragons came out, it will be very like it's taxing for you. I don't even know what I was doing here. I'll be honest.
okay.
Yeah.
Again, like this
Yeah.
is the same point, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
belabor.
I mean, this is a product of the same mistake, isn't it?
Yeah, it's essentially like this is the mentality that I've heard a coach call it the loser's mentality. It's not that negative, but it essentially means you're trying not to lose instead of just looking for the most optimal
Yeah.
winning play, right? So you always have to be like, you know, chess. You if you see a
Yeah.
good move, look for another move. I heard that from a
Yep.
chess grandmaster I was watching yesterday.
Yes.
That's a great saying, and I'd want to
That's
use it here. Look for the better move, and you don't need to just say, "Oh shit, okay, well they're gonna do
Were you
dragon.
watching
Can
Chess
we stop
Bros?
dragon?" Yeah. No, it wasn't chess pro. I think it was Daniel Naroditsky.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Everyone says that.
So so when you like again, you're dragging your team into a fight, which in my opinion
Uh,
isn't a bad fight. It's just
I'm mind controlling them. I'm
yeah,
I'm a griefer.
your team is being stupid. Your team is not thinking for themselves. They're just again, they're
Yeah.
autopiloting on the map. So your
Yeah.
job here is basically what is this Draven doing? What the heck?
I'm being a fucking drone, but Heckram's the most busted champ in the game. All right. But yeah, I mean, I at this point I don't think like at a certain you can kind of tell like at a certain point when so like especially when they're streaming when someone's streaming you can tell they're like zoned out as hell. Like at this point I think I was pretty zoned, but yeah,
Yeah.
I was definitely not making plays with my brain.
I think the main thing is you shouldn't be afraid to make play on your strong side when your weak side is this weak, right?
Right.
If you have three strong sides, okay, sure, it doesn't matter where you go, and you can play like this, and you can be in every lane at once. But the
Yeah.
higher elo you go, you're not going to be able to spread yourself so thin. Okay, you have
Yeah.
to like find a weakness and exploit it. You can't like, okay, I gank top. Okay, now I have to gank mid. Okay, now I have to gank bot. That's not how you play League of Legends, right? The enemy team is
Yeah.
not going to just have no advantages on the map. I mean, it happens in solo queue because matchmaking, but that's you should never go into a game expecting to win all three lanes as a jungler because it just does. It shouldn't happen. Um, the general thing is okay, you win one lane, you lose two, or you win two lanes, you lose one, right? So
Right.
you find one side of the map, you play to that side, and you make the enemy like defend before they can make a play on their strong side.
Right.
That's pretty much how it should work. Oh, he actually gets away.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I think that's pretty much
Yeah, that's the game, I think.
that's
I
the
think
game.
this game is like kind of lost, I feel. Like it's or I mean, do you think it's lost in this position? I feel I mean, I think I kind of troll build, but I don't think it mattered too much. But like like this game is like actually so difficult to play for like any player because we have no actual front line. Unless
You
like
don't have
Shen's like
frontline, so yeah. Again, this
yeah,
is the kind of thing I'd say. It's like creativity. The beautiful thing about your champion is what.
it's a side lane threat.
Yeah, and not only that, it's kind of like you have the ability to one shot any unsuspecting victims whenever the hell you want. This is the reason she scales so well, and she's such a terror in solo queue. You don't need to play 5v5, and you don't need a frontline to win on Evelyn, right? Like I
Right.
assume if you watch Malice,
Yeah.
he'd probably think
Yeah,
of
I
he'd
know.
be creative, right? He'd be sitting there going, okay, the 5v5 and the 4v4 is just off limits. It's bad for me, so I do not go there. Like he will be putting pressure on the enemy in a way that means that they will never be able to group 4v4. So what he'd probably do is he'd be shadowing Shen when Shen has ult so that if they do start Nash, Shen can ult after you kill Camille,
Right.
right? Or something like
I
that.
yeah, I think there's this I need to brush this off like the whole like if I don't because you've seen like junglers just get straight up flamed for not being at neutrals just by
You
just
just,
for no reason
okay,
basically.
yeah,
Right?
but these guys are like
Yeah.
you mute them
I
because these
know.
guys are
I get
stupid,
that.
you know,
Like
like
I
they're
get it.
dumb.
That's what I mean. Like
I
it's
know the
something
feeling, yeah,
that's what I'm
getting
feeling.
flamed. But here's the beauty.
Right.
Here's the beauty is if you climb high elo, you can leave these idiots behind in their elo, and then you can
Yeah.
actually climb the challenger where people will flame you for the correct things
Right.
instead of the wrong things.
Yeah.
But even in challenger, people are just League is an emotional game, and people want to be the carries. When your Kaisa starts falling behind, her advice and her opinion is going to be completely tainted by the fact that she's losing her lane.
Right.
So you should take it with a grain of salt. And right now, this game is now very difficult because we are not responding to bot lane in time. Zoe's doing a decent job of poking, and you're a threat in Viz. But at this point, the game isn't over. It's just you need to be more
Yeah.
thinking outside the box because. What is you showing in these 4v4s and throwing out your occasional charms actually do?
Oh,
Well, Camille's not
yeah.
scared anymore, Camille's just going to be like, oh, well, I mean, I'm winning 1v1 against Shen.
Yeah.
So she just keeps
Oh
pushing,
my
right?
lord. Yeah. I
And
mean, this is
also, by the way, as Draven with cleanse and Soraka with a billion gajillion heals.
yes.
As a Draven, I don't give a shit about you, dude. I'm
Yeah.
I'm chilling. I don't need to be scared of Evelyn because I have Soraka
I have
R.
to help them.
Exactly, right. So it's really stupid to play as Draven scared of an Evelyn in this situation. So
Yeah.
and then you also have these annoying champs like Anivia, Hecarim that can stop you and chain stun you. It's just the 4v4 isn't in your favor, so do the one thing that is, which is side lane, and be a side lane threat. Okay, look for the play that makes you the winning, makes the enemy respond to you before they can respond. But I think at this point, the enemy has enough items and enough of a lead that
It's
this
yeah.
is exactly what I want you to be doing. This is exactly what you need to be doing.
This how is okay? Wait.
Yeah, I think she has Starax, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, she
something
has
like that.
Starax. Yeah, Starax gets popped here.
I've never seen someone live that. I'll be honest. Like if I see the X on them, they're dead. But
Yeah.
this one did not die. I don't know why. I'm confused.
I mean, this is a micro thing, but just use your smite and use all your resources as to try and secure the kill. I think because
Yeah,
this is like, and at this point in the game, smite is
yeah.
a kill is more
It's
important than saving your smite. So
yeah. This is a troll. I think at this point, huh? Game's not lost here, no.
no, I think the game is
Yeah,
still super
definitely is
winnable.
not.
Lamaukai.
This champ is just not
So
fun.
again,
Alright.
like imagine if you get the kill here, then you
Yeah,
can just push up bot lane. You probably get bot tower. You just need to spam ping your like again. I would be spam pinging my team mid lane because they're about to die 4v3.
yeah.
These guys are
Like
being
I
like,
think
do you see like Hecarim is just he should just be ulting on mid. I don't know why he's not ulting on mid.
yeah, I get a little angsty when I don't see a champion for a minute. So I guess that's where this comes from. I don't know. It's just like subconscious. Like I mean, right now, like I mean, you think if I was looking at a player doing this, I'd be like, "Huh, just do that. You know what I mean? Like right now, like if I was watching myself and I didn't know this was me, I would probably say the same things you're saying to
Yeah.
myself, or like doing that
So
that thing.
that's a
But
good
in the
point.
game, I'm just like,
Yeah, the
yeah,
difficulty is changing it in game, right? So in the
yeah,
game, it's like you know that gut feeling I told you about in our chat. I said if you have this gut feeling as a jungler walking to a lane that this gank is going to be hard, this gank is going to be rough, and you get this like this feeling in your stomach, you're like I don't know if I should be here, like probably listen to that feeling, you know, like your brain is probably telling you something, or your gut is probably telling you something that like, hey, this feeling, like this play is not reliable, it's not a guaranteed play. So that's pretty much all I have to say about it. It's more like
yeah,
identify that feeling in game. You'll get used to it, and you'll start being able to fix this as you play more, and you're like more self-aware. Okay, I'm starting to get that feeling, like I'm gravitating towards my weak side again. Let's focus on strong
yeah,
side, you know.
right,
And it actually helps me when I stream because I'll have to say it out loud. I'll have to speak out loud, or if I'm GOQ, and I'll have to talk about where I'm going and what I'm doing on support, right? Because if I'm on support and I'm ganking my mid lane who's 0-3, I'm wasting my time. It's just not efficient use of my time. And sometimes
right,
I find myself doing that on stream, and I'm like, why am I doing that? And I have to catch myself and then
mhm,
force myself back to
yeah.
a good play, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think like obviously there are like exceptions sometimes, right? If it's like that free, and like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I feel like people are afraid of like missing those free options because they're like if like what if their gut's wrong or
That's an
something.
experience thing, right? That
Yeah,
is like I put thousands of games onto my champs, so I can look at the interactions, whether they have sums, and then the lane state and the enemy jungle, and I can have a rough idea. I like a decent, like if I'm on Thresh, for example, I know to a very decent level that okay, if I go onto this weak side lane and I make a play, um, this is how it's going to play out if I land hook, and this is how it's going to play out if I don't land hook, right?
right,
So that's just pure experience. What you're saying is just pure experience. You need to like try out certain plays and see if they work. And that's how you learn your limits on champions. That is what limits means on a champion.
right,
I know I can go to a 0-3 Zoe lane and get a kill on Anivia on X champion. Okay. A silver player wouldn't know that. A silver player would be like, or maybe they wouldn't even think about the limits and they just try it and fail anyway because they don't understand that Hecarim could counter gank. That's knowing
right,
limits. And knowing
yep,
limits ties directly into the if I had to summarize this whole thing, it ties directly into reliable plays. If you know your limits, you know whether a play is reliable or not reliable. So if I know my limits on Evelyn and I know my limits and I know that mid lane is not a reliable play, I know that because mechanically in micro I can play the fight out in my head and I'd be like, okay, well, Anivia has cleanse, so she cleanses my charm. She also has wall to stop me from getting close. She has stun point blank to stop me from killing her, and I have to match that with my ult to not get stunned, which is not good because she's going to be too high HP at that point, So it's hard to gank an Anivia if she has Q up. Um, and then on top of that, in the event Hecarim shows up, we're dead. It's just not a reliable play.
Yep.
But then I use the
I think
same logic. Why don't you do that for top lane? Play the fight out top lane when you're pre six. You're pre
yeah.
six. Shen is six. Camille
I
is
def
six. What
yeah, I
happens?
definitely did this game. I just see in like a free kill every time basically at
Yeah,
top lane.
it's
Yeah.
a free kill, right? Like, what is her options? Okay, she could buffer her E. That is the best thing she could do, and I should expect her to try and do that. She should buffer
Right.
her E so that even though you charm her, she still flies to the wall, right?
Right.
And she gets some distance. That's the only thing Camille has going for her in that situation.
Yeah.
So okay, that's pretty reliable. Bot lane, again, I would run through the same thing, and then I'd be like, I come to the conclusion, well, they have Cleanse on Draven, they have Soraka R, they will buy time forever, and then potentially if Hecarim shows bot lane, we're really screwed because we're a cooldown based, like, I'm cooldown based, Janna's cooldown based. If we used all our cooldowns, then Draven wins because he's got axes, and they have Soraka constant healing. So it's just, unless we one-shot them bot lane, I don't want to deal with Draven Soraka.
Yes.
Not a reliable play. Okay, cool. Only reliable play is top. Let's just keep going top. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Does that help?
Yeah, that helps.
Again, like you said, the main difficulty is figuring it out in game. That's the tough part.
Right.
I don't know. I had post-it notes stuck to my monitor. I've seen some people who like say it out loud even when they're in solo queue. Some people like fucking mute all chat and just purely listen to pings only, and that helps them get in the zone. I don't know what you need to do, but for me, I just stuck post-it notes on my
Yeah.
monitor about like I would have just one big word written like roaming, and then
Yeah.
I would look at it and I would think about roaming, and it would make me start asking myself questions like, can I even get a kill if I go here? Which I
Yeah.
wasn't asking before. So
Yeah. Streaming is not my zone though,
it's
unfortunately.
hard. It's hard to
But
stream, be
yeah.
entertaining while also maintaining these kind of things,
Yeah.
but you can build up to it. Again, I can play consistently when I'm on stream. I play consistently the same on stream and off stream now, but it wasn't like that at first.
Right.
Um, it was pretty bad at first. In fact, I would have massive anxiety switching my stream on because I feel like I play way worse, and I'd just lose all my games on stream. But the way you fix that is by practice. So yeah,
Right.
just keep practicing. Eventually, it'll get to the point where you don't care. Like you can talk out loud while thinking about this stuff. It's second nature, and then yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I just focus on reading my chat if anyone says anything. I
yeah,
literally like I remember this one. It was so ridiculous. I was like ganking a lane. I was walking the bush. I alt tapped to look at chat to read it, and then I don't know why I did that. But it's like
yeah. That is
even when I'm off stream, I sometimes alt tab X like just by habit. Like when I stream like every day, I have developed the habit so much that like when I stopped streaming, like the one day, I was actually like actively doing it over and over.
Yeah, I mean, I get a second monitor if you could afford one, but I wouldn't do that in general. It just,
Yeah.
'cause like you said, it
So
builds up a bad habit, and you get
yeah.
into the like muscle memory of you die and then you alt tab, or you're going for something and then you alt tab and then you miss some info. It's just like
Yeah.
not
It's
really the
yeah, it's
best.
not very optimal for sure.
All right, cool. Well, I hope that was
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah, it was useful. I mean that game was like I think you can tell it was autopilot kinda or like
Yeah, I mean, it happens a
but at some
lot
points it
on
did, yeah.
stream, and I autopilot a lot, especially in
Yeah.
preseason. So it is what it
Yeah.
is. The less
Yeah, if
autopilot games, the better, because you'll start climbing. You'll win these games, which other junglers can't win, right? So
right. Yeah.
cool,
So yeah, that's pretty helpful, I think.
awesome. I'm glad.